The desert at night is a different world. No streetlights, no towns, no landmarks, just miles of blackness pressing in on both sides. That night, I was half dead from exhaustion, hauling freight across Nevada with the radio low and the road humming under me. I should have stayed on the interstate, but my GPS flickered, froze, then lit up with a detour I'd never seen before. A new route, it claimed. Faster. I should have ignored it. Instead, I slowed the rig and turned onto a road that wasn't even a road, not really. The pavement was cracked, sun-bleached, and half-swallowed by drifting sand. My headlights stretched over a barren trail that looked like no one had touched it in years. No signs. No reflectors. Just an endless strip of black vanishing into deeper black. After a few miles, the GPS went dead. Just a blank screen, no coordinates, no time of arrival. I tapped it, smacked it, but nothing. The desert swallowed the signal whole. That's when I realized I hadn't passed another car in over an hour. It felt like the world had emptied out behind me, like I'd driven off the map entirely. And that's when the fear began, slow and quiet, like a leak in the back of your mind you don't notice until the air feels thin. I don't know how long I drove before the lights hit me. 1 second, there was nothing but desert, the next, blinding floodlights roared to life on both sides of the road. My eyes burned, my heart nearly jumped out of my chest. Men stepped out of the darkness in full combat gear. Rifles, helmets, the whole 9 yards. They didn't stop me. Didn't even ask who I was. They just waved me through like they'd been waiting. I wanted to stop. I wanted to roll down the window and tell them there had been some mistake, that I wasn't supposed to be here. But something in their movements, the way they never lowered their weapons, told me not to argue. So I kept my hands locked on the wheel and followed the narrow road deeper into the desert. The further I went, the brighter the floodlights became, lining the road like a tunnel of white fire. The men didn't speak. They didn't move. Just stood there, watching me pass. And I couldn't shake the thought, they think I'm someone else. The road dipped, sloping down toward something carved into the earth. At first, I thought it was a quarry. But then I saw the concrete walls, the steel barriers, the heavy gates that groaned open as if on cue. They led me into what looked like a loading dock, but it wasn't above ground. It was buried. The air grew colder the deeper I went, the rumble of my engine echoing off walls that swallowed sound like a cave. Soldiers swarmed the trailer before I even set the brakes. They moved fast, too fast, unlatching, unsealing, unloading. None of them looked at me. Not once. One barked, "Stay in the cab. Don't move. Don't look." But you can't tell a man not to look. In the shadows beyond the dock, I caught glimpses of things I wasn't supposed to see. Reinforced blast doors with warning signs stenciled in yellow and black. Symbols I didn't recognize. The kind of warnings that make your stomach twist before your brain even understands. Whatever this place was, it wasn't meant to exist. And I knew then, I wasn't supposed to be here. They worked like machines, hauling the crates out of my trailer with forklifts, chains, bare muscle. The boxes weren't marked with shipping labels or barcodes, just heavy steel containers with locks the size of my fist. I should have stayed put. I should have stared straight ahead until they told me to leave. But waiting there, heart pounding, I couldn't resist. One of the soldiers dropped a crate harder than he meant to. The corner split, just enough for me to see inside. Not guns. Not ammo. Not rations. Something biological. It was sealed in thick glass, like a tank. Fluid sloshed around it, greenish, bubbling. And in the middle, something moved. Twisted. Pressed against the glass as though it sensed me watching. It wasn't human. It wasn't even close. February 10th, 2025, 23:04. Pale skin stretched too thin over a frame that bent wrong, joints where no joints should be, eyes, God, the eyes, clouded, lidless, staring without blinking. The soldier noticed the crack, slammed the box shut, and glared at me like he already knew I'd seen too much. And that's when the real fear started. The soldier's stare burned into me, and I knew, I wasn't leaving that place alive. Not after what I'd seen. One of them barked an order I didn't catch. Another started toward my cab. My pulse spiked. Fight or flight, and I damn sure wasn't gonna fight. I slammed the rig into gear before they could reach the door. Tires screeched against the concrete, the echo deafening in that underground tomb. Shouts erupted behind me, boots pounding, but I didn't look back. The ramp stretched longer than I remembered, twisting, climbing, like it was trying to keep me underground. My headlights caught glimpses of shapes running in the shadows, too fast, too long-limbed to be men. Something was chasing me. The road back out into the desert felt wrong, like it kept looping. No matter how far I drove, the floodlights never faded. My hands shook so hard I could barely hold the wheel. Every shadow in the mirror looked alive, pulling closer, closer. It felt like I was never going to escape. And then, without warning, I was back on open desert highway, like none of it had been real. When my tires hit the asphalt again, I nearly broke down. I kept driving, hands trembling on the wheel, afraid that if I stopped, the desert would swallow me whole. The radio was just static. The GPS flickered back on, like nothing had ever happened, as if mocking me. I didn't sleep for 2 nights after that run. My dispatcher never asked about the detour. Nobody mentioned the drop. It was like it didn't exist. But the thing that haunted me most was what I saw when I checked the map a few days later. I traced my route, zoomed in on the spot where the GPS had glitched. That road I turned onto. It wasn't there. Not a trace. Just empty desert. Sometimes, when I close my eyes, I still see that glass tank. I still see what was inside. And I still hear the sound, something wet and heavy shifting in the dark, like it was waiting for me. So if you're ever lost out here in Nevada, and you see a road that isn't on your map, don't take it.